Artificial intelligence is growing faster than anything we've ever built. It's swallowing entire industries and taking jobs left and right. And the question on everyone's mind has quietly flipped from, am I going to be replaced by AI, to how do we destroy it before it destroys us? The first question's basically been answered. If your job hasn't been automated yet, it's probably a matter of time before something can do it cheaper than you can. The second question is where it gets complicated, and the best way I can explain the truth that nobody wants to face is this. The key to surviving the AI apocalypse isn't in a lab or a server farm. It's buried deep in human psychology, in a tale as old as time. The beauty in the struggle. And no story in history captures that better than
famous story about a man of strength, spirit, and steel. The Legend of John Henry.
In The Legend of John Henry, a railroad worker goes up against a steam-powered machine built to replace him. And against all odds, he beats it, outdriving steel into a mountainside with nothing but his hands and a hammer. Are you familiar with John Henry?
No.
He was like David Goggins of his time. The story survived this long because it's about something primal, the human spirit bred by nature, refusing to lose to the unnatural. What looks like a silly folktale is really one of the oldest stories we have. David and Goliath, man versus machine, nature versus transcendence, humanism versus transhumanism. And that's the whole AI question in one image. Do we evolve past our own biology by unnatural means, or do we stick with what got us here? And John Henry proves we should stick with it, right?
He beat the drill and then he checked.
Well, here's the part of the story that usually gets skipped by. Seconds after he won, John Henry dropped dead of exhaustion. The machine stayed, the railroad got built, and progress kept on marching. For generations, we've told this story about human triumph, but if you look closer, it's telling you something darker.
I think that shit was stupid as fuck.
My take on this is that the real lesson is that you need to get you a drill. What if he got on the drill?
Progress doesn't stop because a human proves that they're better. The steam drill went on to remake the world anyway, like every tool before it, and every tool since. Because the only thing inside us stronger than the urge to reject the unnatural is the urge to evolve, to grow, explore, conquer. So no, the John Henry route can't be our secret weapon against AI. Yes, there's beauty in the struggle, but there's no glory in dying on the tracks. AI is our generation's steam drill, and the question was never whether we can outmuscle it in a contest. The question is what we build once we stop trying to.
Welcome to the future, where humanity has solved every problem. If you need food, a machine will bring it to you. If you need entertainment, a screen's already waiting. Need to travel? A chair will carry you right there. Even if you need to think, technology will do it for you.
That's the story of WALL-E. Centuries after abandoning Earth, humanity lives aboard a starship where every part of life is automated. Nobody walks, works, creates. They drift through floating chairs, staring at screens, consuming whatever the machine sets in front of them. Well, nobody's starving, nobody's struggling, or even remotely unhappy. So, you tell me, is that the answer? Is the way to win the war against AI sitting right in front of us? Compliance. Well, if you said yes, I got good news. We're already on that path, and we have been for quite some time. We're already on autopilot. When we built autopilot, flying became the safest way to travel on Earth. Crashes plummeted. The machine flew better than any human could. But the better it got, the less pilots actually flew. Flight after flight, the computer did the work, and humans became watchers. The skill that took years to master quietly started to rot. And then, on the night of June 1st, 2009, a machine that good handed the controls back. Air France 447 was cruising at 35,000 feet over the Atlantic when it hit a band of ice crystals. They clogged the sensors that measure airspeed, and with no reliable data, the autopilot shut itself off and handed 2 co-pilots full manual control of a plane in total darkness, turbulence, with alarms screaming. They trained for stalls near the ground where you pull the nose up, so that's what the pilot did. He pulled back and held it, almost the entire way down. But that's the exact wrong move. At altitude, pulling up kills your speed and drops you into a stall. The computer was screaming the word stall at them, and they couldn't hear it. They rode a stalling plane into the ocean from 35,000 feet and never understood what was happening to them. 228 people died. The machine didn't fail them by being bad. It failed them by being so good that the human skill underneath it withered. And the one moment the machine needed a human, there wasn't one left who remembered how to do it. And that's John Henry inverted. John Henry beat the machine and died doing it. These pilots survived the machine and died because they'd forgotten how to be the human that the machine replaced. And that story just keeps on happening. We built CGI so filmmakers could imagine anything, and 20 years later, the best CGI villain ever made is still Davy Jones because studios stopped pushing the tools and started using it to cut costs. We've built algorithms so we'd never have to look for entertainment again, and handed them our attention spans, our mental health, our ability to even think for ourselves. Every time the same story. We build a tool to set ourselves free, and somewhere along the way, we forget why we built it in the first place. People either want it wiped off the planet or wiping our asses. So, what's the answer? In a war between David and Goliath, when both of them lose, what do we actually do? Well, there's one thing nobody faces about new technology. We always call it the end of humanity, but it only becomes that the moment that we finally crown it as the hero. The answer was never black or white. It's not destroy it, and it's not surrender to it. It's the part in the middle that nobody wants to sit in, because it's the part that actually takes work. Humans never invented tools so we could lie around and rot until we died. We invented them to clear away the noise, to get the distractions out of the way of what it actually means to be human. The enrichment of the mind, the pursuit of art and of wonder, and ultimately, love. And here's why I'm not worried about that part. No matter how good AI gets at making music or films or art, it's definitionally impossible for it to replace them, because the point of art was never the thing at the end. It's the journey that it takes you on, and the journey can only be lived firsthand. Art is the record of a human being going through something, and by definition, you can't fake the human being. I don't mean that as a feel-good line. I mean it literally, and you can already watch it happening. The more technology cuts corners, the more people pay for the thing that didn't. People drive to farmers markets and pay double because a human grew it. Self-checkout and Uber Eats made human service practically unnecessary, and people still pay a premium to be served by a person. A computer can produce a flawless track, and people still chase the imperfect version played by human hands. We are a tribal species. We spent millions of years learning to trust what's human, and that instinct isn't going anywhere as long as we're still human. Which is exactly where John Henry leaves us. His story isn't beautiful because he beat the machine. It's beautiful because of what it cost him, because of what a human will pour into something when they decide it matters. But it doesn't change the fact that the drill survived and John Henry didn't. So here's where I actually land. Living like a caveman isn't the answer. Technology is the reason we're not cavemen. Longer lives, bigger world, less fear. AI can be the tool that lifts us somewhere we can't even picture yet, but not as a pill that we swallow to make the work go away. It's actually the opposite. We're going to have to fight with it constantly, to toe the line between synergy and surrender, Because some things were never meant to be automated. The struggle isn't a bug in the human experience. It's the whole point. Maybe one day AI can paint this painting, make this song, build this garden, solve every problem you've ever had, and invent new ones just to solve those too, all at the click of a button. But it'll never live the journey those things are made of. The journey is the part that makes us what we are. Will that be enough? Will any of this happen the way I say it will? I don't know. End of the day, I'm just a guy on YouTube.